Hey everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our a little bit longer show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend. Your pre-orders are due Sunday around 9 o'clock, so head on over to infinityflux.net right now where you can follow along, place your pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on any of the greatness that is new comics.
Yep.
And there is some big ones on this one that you don't want to be stumbling into your store on Wednesday morning with eye crusties, and you go, "Where's that new book?" And they go, "Sorry, we sold out."
They're gone.
And then you flash back to this moment. You say,
"Yeah, should have pre-ordered."
They told me.
Yep.
I'm gonna do something with my life now.
Right.
But big show. So let's get into it. But first,
before we start, we want to tell you about something really, really cool that is going on here at the store. So tomorrow, Saturday, December 14th, we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary, and it is going to be super cool. So we have some cool things going on in the store. For one, we have a really cool anniversary sale where you can get 50% off regular back issues, 50% off shirts and merchandise, and then buy two, get one free on graphic novels, manga, movies, video games, pops, bagged action figures, and more. So that's in store. We are also doing our own chocolate bar. This is an Infinity Flux chocolate bar. We partnered with a local chocolate maker here in Chattanooga to make Infinity Flux specific chocolate bars. These are going to be sale in the store and on the website. And what's even cooler about these is that I don't know how many of these we have, like probably a couple hundred, but 10 of these are going to have a golden ticket inside worth 250 Flux bucks, which is basically $250 worth of store credit, and you can use that in person or online. So even if you aren't local to Chattanooga, you can buy a chocolate bar online, and it might have one of these in it. And if you do get one, you can redeem it on our website, or if you're local, you can use it, redeem it right here in store. So very, very cool. It's very, in the spirit of Willy Wonka, we just wanted to do something very cool to give back to the community as a way to say thank you for 10 wonderful years, and hopefully, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 more. So yeah, very, very cool. And this is a sealed box, so I can't show you the bar, but it's really cool. It's blue, and it's like it got this like sort of hexagonal pattern on it. It's very
check our
neat.
Instagram. There's a video of it. It's really, really cool. And the packaging was designed by one Richard Starkings, who is working on the upcoming Batman Hush 2.
Yep.
So you can consider this chocolate bar a prequel to Hush 2.
Right.
Look for hints about who the new Hush is in this bar. Also, in spirit of Willy Wonka, a bunch of kids will be here and slowly be killed off over the course of the day.
We have a bunch of murderous Oompa Loompas running around. And just also, not only can you buy these bars and maybe get a golden ticket, but there's also an extra chance to win if you go to our Instagram account, and there's a post that tells you how you can win one of these and possibly one of these just by sharing the post and following and all that kind of stuff without buying anything. So definitely go to our Instagram and check that post. Yeah, very, very cool. So we wanted to make you aware of our very cool 10th anniversary celebration tomorrow.
Yes. But we've got comics to get into.
Indeed.
That's what we're here. That's what built these 10 years. Is started on the great foundation of comics. So we're going to begin with our featured comics.
We are going to start with Eddie Brock Carnage #1. Oops, sorry, I got my notes all mixed up. Eddie Brock Carnage #1. This is written by Charles Soule, and the art is by Jesus Saiz. Sorry about that. After the events of the Venom War, we know that Eddie Brock bonded with the Carnage symbiote, and meanwhile, the Venom symbiote is bonded to we don't know who. So lots of new stuff going on. But can Eddie Brock control the Carnage symbiote's endless bloodlust, or will he give into it? So I'm not really sure what the overall story is about. The solicitations for #2 are not out yet because we are still ordering so far ahead of time for Marvel.
This is like 7 weeks, something like that.
So this comes out on February 12th.
Yeah.
So we are still, ordering way ahead for Marvel. It eventually will catch up. as we get past the holidays and things will start to come back together. But so, like I said, not sure what the overall premise of this series is going to be, but Eddie Brock is bonded to Carnage now. What is that going to be like? So we have our A cover right here. We have an Alessandro Capuccio variant. That's your artist of the upcoming Ultimate Wolverine, currently working on Moon Knight. There's a Chris Giarrusso cover. Those are great because they always match
I
the
like
A cover.
Continuing.
Yeah. There's a Humberto Ramos wraparound variant, and this one looks creepy. Like that's just a creepy look.
Wide Carnage.
Yeah.
Usually he's like really skinny, but that's a bulldog face.
There is a Mark Bagley foil variant, and that's going to look great. And there's a Todd Knock iconic variant. And that looks cool too. There's been several of these Todd Knock iconic covers. I don't know if there's any more here, but we had one last week, and yeah.
I'll be very interested in this because Cletus Cassidy is a like serial killer who got the Carnage symbiote, but Eddie Brock has been through so much. He's a good guy for the most part. How's that going to change Carnage?
Yeah. Or how will Carnage change Eddie Brock? Will it corrupt him and maybe turn him back into a bad guy after all these years?
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see because we haven't really seen like too many other people take on the Carnage symbiote.
Yeah.
Unlike Venom. So yeah, very cool one. Next up, one I am so excited about. This is Star Wars Legacy of Vader. This is our new ongoing series. So, we are wrapping up the Battle of Jakku series, and Star Wars and Vader, both of those series have ended. So this is our next ongoing series. So you'll definitely want to get on this. This is by, once again, Charles Soule, and with art by Luke Ross. Charles Soule, I always bring up, wrote one of my favorite runs of comics in general, not just Star Wars comics, but his Darth Vader run with Giuseppe Camicoli and a couple of other artists on there is phenomenal. So I can't wait to get into this because this takes place after The Last Jedi. So Snoke is dead. Kylo Ren has become the supreme leader of the First Order, but he's still like not super confident, and he's still trying to live up to his grandfather's name of Darth Vader. What does that mean? What does he do? He goes to Vader's castle on Mustafar, which we saw him build in the Vader series. So it does definitely feel like a sequel series to that, as he goes there and uncovers secrets about kind of his family and the legacy that he's living up to. Plus, it says it's going to deal with stuff with him and Rey and the dyad that connects the two. We're going to be getting just a lot of answers to a lot of the questions we had from the sequel trilogy. And it says from Mustafar to Tatooine, Kylo's journey is going to take him, kind of across his grandfather's story. And I think that's super cool. So another great kind of fill-in series to explain a lot, and if it's like the Vader one, this is going to be phenomenal. I've already seen some preview pages of this with Luke Ross's art. Looks incredible.
Is there anything in these? So I'm more of a Star Wars casual. Is there anything in this that would tell me, if I didn't have you, where this falls in line with the movies?
Probably. Usually these do the opening crawl that tells you, and then just the fact that he's called Supreme Leader, Kylo Ren, places it after the death of Snoke. Because
I probably wouldn't have picked up on that, though.
Kills him when he chopped him in half. Yeah. But I'm guessing this will do a good job at letting you know when it takes place, especially because of that. They usually have that opening kind of, here's when this takes place and here's what's going on. So very excited about this. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you get all the Star Wars books. This is your next one to jump on, because the one that we're getting right now is about to end, and this will be, so far, kind of the only one we know about. We know there is a Jedi Knight series coming up that's going to be taking place during kind of the prequel era, but for right now, you'll want to get on Legacy of Vader. This is your A cover. We have a really cool Annie Wu variant. We've got a Darbo Black History Month variant, this time with Mother Anastasia from The Acolyte, which would be her first appearance in comics on this cover. We've got a EM Gist cover. And we have a Jedi Knights sneak preview cover. And I believe this is a sneak preview of the new series, the Jedi Knight series they're going to be getting. So
really, the Star Wars comic you need to jump on, though, is next week's Star Wars High Republic Adventures, The Wedding Special. Some of the pages have art featuring drawn by Mr. Andy Dugan here. So yeah, Andy's next work is right here. This comes out next week. We'll be talking about it more on Monday, but just wanted to plug this because it has top tier artists in it.
I'll be revealing all the secrets of the 3 pages I worked on. Okay.
Next up is. Sorry about that. Let me get my notes here. DC's Lex in the City. This is a one shot that comes out on January 29th. So it's creeping into Valentine's Day. And that's kind of sort of what this book revolves around. So this is an anthology book collecting 8 different stories from various writers and various artists of heroes and villains looking for love in the big city. We don't know all of them, but we do know there's one featuring Lex Luthor, where he laments over the one who got away, which is Superman. And I'm assuming he means like, I never could stop him, or maybe he's in love with Superman. Who knows? There's also another one with Raven and Beast Boy where they embark on a romantic scavenger hunt across San Francisco. And one that sounds really cool, Damian Wayne running a dating advice gauntlet through Gotham City that is organized by Tim Drake. So there's those 3. There's 5 others. These books are always really fun. DC and Marvel too does a lot of these types of things around the holidays. So this one is just in time for, or I guess a little bit early for Valentine's Day.
Which is just in time.
Right.
So you can read it on Valentine's Day.
So we have our A cover right here by Amanda Connor. There is a Sowie variant, and there is a Sozamaika variant also with hello, ladies. Here I'm Nightwing, ready to take you out.
Next up, we have Power Man Timeless. So this is going, I believe this is going to be a mini-series. I couldn't find anywhere about how many issues it's going to be. Feels like a mini-series. It's going to be by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing with art by Bernard Chang. And if you remember last year's Marvel Timeless issue, the kind of through line of it was this story about Power Man Luke Cage, who has taken on the powers of, you see some down on the bottom, Hulk, Iron Fist, Century. He was facing off against Moon Knight, but it was like a weird robot.
Yeah, it wasn't just regular Mark Spector. Yeah. He was special.
But this was like set in the far future where like most of the heroes had died, and these are kind of like superhero gods at this point. Well, we are going back to this version of the character, which I think they kind of teased in that we would be getting more of this.
Yeah, at the end, it looked like disaster for this version of Power Man, but then maybe not. There's a little tease there.
Well, this one, it says that he is going to be coming to the main Marvel timeline. So I'm guessing
like in the present time?
I think present time, where he maybe gets punched through time or something like that. Only to discover a foe and a mystery that will challenge even his incredible abilities. So I wonder if he sees maybe the makings of something that he knows is going to happen in the future or something like that. But it sounds really cool. I really liked that part of the Timeless issue. I thought it was a really unique story, especially using Luke Cage in that way of really building him up.
And I remember when I read that, I was like, wow, I wouldn't mind seeing more of this version of Power Man. Like, that would be cool. So
he feels like one that should maybe go up against like Maestro or something.
Oh, that would be cool.
A lot of the future characters. But
I feel like he's maybe a little bit overpowered, though.
I don't know. We'll have to see. But can he control those powers?
That's
I think
true.
that was one of the things too, is like they are very volatile. So we've got our A cover here. We have a Galman variant, which I wonder if we're going to get some classic Luke Cage in there as well.
Maybe.
And this one's really cool. This is the Ken Lashley Black History Month variant, which that is just a hardcore looking dude right there.
I would not want to mess with him.
No.
Speaking of Luke Cage, we have the Ultimates number 9, and we wanted to highlight this one a little bit near the top of the show because this is the first appearance of this old universe's version of Luke Cage. We were told that Spider-Man is not the only success story from the first iteration of all these heroes that Tony Stark tried to reintegrate into the universe. Meet the man who has been quietly sabotaging the Maker's Council from behind bars. Don't know more than that. Don't know how he's doing that, but I'm wildly interested in it. He looks awesome. He looks big and burly, and that's exactly the way I think Luke Cage should look.
Like he kind of is going back to his origin.
Yeah.
And everything, so that's really cool.
Yeah, so first appearance of the new Ultimate Luke Cage in Ultimates number 9 right here. We have our A cover. We have a Gleb Melnikov variant without Luke Cage, and then there's a really cool In-Hyuk Lee variant I hope that's what he ends up looking like. I hope that's his suit or
It
whatever.
almost looks like some kind of like skin tight armor or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that looks
Like
awesome.
clothes. Okay, next up, we want to bring up Hyde Street #3. Why? Because this is an awesome book, and you definitely should be reading it if
Yes.
you're a fan of awesome art, awesome writing, and a little bit of horror thrown in there. So Hyde Street #3. I think what's interesting about this one is you can tell from the cover this is a Christmas issue,
Yep.
but it does not come out until January 22nd, almost a month after Christmas.
So don't take down your Christmas tree until you read this.
Exactly. You need to read it by the warm light of your Christmas
That's
tree.
right.
But this one sounds really fun because I was kind of speculating that maybe Mr. X-Ray is going to be maybe not our hero, but our protagonist through this. He's not quite as into what they have to do as, say, some of the other ones. And in this one, he is seeking his escape from this inescapable thing that we've seen them in. This kind of game that they have chosen to be in, but maybe they didn't know the full extent of it. But the only thing standing in his way of getting out is Pranky, the horrible little Boy Scout that we saw very heavily featured in the previous issue. But I wonder if that's going to be the rivalry. Because I think they did even have kind of a passing moment in the previous issue and everything.
They're definitely not best friends.
No. Yeah. No, Pranky is very much into what they have to do, and Mr. X-Ray maybe not so much.
Although you say that, but he did cut off Santa's head on the cover.
Well,
so maybe he's cool with it.
He's gotta, you gotta do the job if that's what you're asked to do. But very excited about this one. So if you've not tried Hyde Street yet, what are you doing? It is amazing. It's one of my favorite books currently coming out, and you need to be on it. So we've got our A cover right here. We've got a Steve Lieber variant, which is super fun. And we have a German Peralta variant as well.
All right, next up we have Finders Keepers, and this is a one shot. It's the next book in the Horizon Experiment line of books. We have another one coming out next week called Mother Fluffing Monsters. I won't say what it is exactly, but that's the next one. But then this is the next one after that. This is written by Vida Ayala, and the art is by Skylar Patridge. And this is described as a Puerto Rican reverse Indiana Jones because it is about a thief. You can see her on the cover who steals from museums and returns those artifacts back to their native cultures. So the exact opposite of what Indiana Jones does. And I never really thought about that, but yeah, he's straight up stealing from like, shouldn't be doing that.
Well, he does also re-steal from Nazis.
Well, that's good.
He doesn't take it back to where it goes, but it's better than being in the hands
of Nazis. But he went to the tomb at the very beginning of Raiders. He stole that thing.
Yeah.
The idol. He stole the idol. He should have just left it there.
Belongs in a museum, Dad.
Right. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is like I see the more from the dad perspective, That's what happens when you get older. But yeah, so the next book in the Horizon Experiment, and again, these are all one shots, but if the sales are good, the reception's good, there is the potential for more afterwards. So we have this one shot, or I'm sorry, this A cover by Skylar Patridge, your interior artist, and then there is a Tula Lotte connecting variant that's going to connect with all the other ones.
It's a very, very interesting connecting scene with wildly different genres.
Yeah, definitely.
Next up, we've got the Patchwork Girl of Oz. This is going to be written and drawn by Otis Frampton, and this adapts the 7th book in the Oz series by L. Frank Baum. This is really interesting. Someone even today asked, why go with the 7th story, the 7th book? And I think that's when maybe one of the previous ones ends. So Scotty Young did Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Ozma of Oz, all of that. He may have gone up to book 6 or right up till here, and they want to maybe continue the story if you want to read all of them in comic form. Because it does say, even the solicitation for fans of Scotty Young and stuff like Twig and all of that. And if you don't know, this follows Ojo the Unlucky. That's the boy with the hat. We have Scraps, the Patchwork Girl, there in the middle. And Bungle, the Glass Cat, on a journey from Munchkin Land to the Emerald City. So, really fun if you are jonesing for more Oz after you saw Wicked and you are just singing Defying Gravity at the top of your lungs and you're like, I need more of this. We got a whole year until Wicked Part 2, So check out the Patchwork Girl of Oz, and this is your only cover.
Next up is Justice League Unlimited number 3. We do not have number 2 yet, but number 1 came out a while back and it was awesome. My favorite issue of the year. I have no doubt that this is going to be awesome as well. Still by Mark Waid, still by Dan Mora. In this, the global terrorist group Inferno, who we kind of sort of met in the first issue, they take their next step towards world dominance with an ecological disaster. And then it says, will Superman, Wonder Woman, and the others have to sacrifice the life of Swamp Thing? I have no idea why they would have to do that. So hopefully they won't have to do that.
Don't.
You see him on the cover there. Maybe they do.
And pretty upset,
yeah, he's pretty upset about that for sure. So while all that's going on, you see on the bottom half of the cover, Plastic Man and Beast Boy work with the Atom Project to fix their scrambled superpowers. And we know the Atom Project is an upcoming miniseries featuring Ray Palmer, Ryan Choi, trying to fix all of the messed up superpowers. Not all of them were messed up, but some of them were at the end of Absolute Power, so they're trying to work on that. So very nice connective tissue between this book, which is the spine, the core of the DC universe, and another book that's going to be coming out very soon. And I just love this A cover because that's what the inside of the book looks like too.
Yeah.
Like, how often do we get that these days in comics where that awesome cover reflects what's in the book? That is super cool. I can't wait for this. This is going to be awesome. This is our A cover by Dan Mora. There's a Simone DeMeo variant. And I don't know if Captain Atom's going to be part of it because he's going to figure into the Atom Project. Yeah. We've got a Nathan Zerdy variant. There is a Riccardo Federici variant. And there is a Gilliam March raised UV foil variant.
Also doesn't look good for Swamp Thing there either.
Yeah, he's having a bad day.
This actually, I went on and I watched a few episodes of Justice League Unlimited the other day because I was like, I'm just feeling it right now. Watched the Green Arrow Black Canary episode.
Oh my gosh,
which
it's
is
so good.
So great. That has Wildcat in it.
I love the relationship in that show. That's so great.
Next up, we've got Absolute Wonder Woman number 4. Super excited about this one because we're getting to some of the craziness of Absolute Wonder Woman as Diana makes the ultimate sacrifice, and I feel like this is kind of what this first story arc has been leading to. Kelly Thompson had talked about that there's a big thing that happens in Absolute Wonder Woman that is kind of a big deal for the rest of the series, and she keeps having to remind herself like that people don't know what it is yet. And I feel like we are getting into that. So she has done the unthinkable to escape the fatal grasp of the deadly tetricide, which we've only just seen in issue number 2.
And like, it was scary looking.
Yeah, it is
huge.
a very Lovecraftian, horrifying monster coming from the ocean. But the price Diana paid is more than she can stand to lose for the fight that's coming. So it makes me think she does lose, an advantage that she had. And what could that be? We speculated. Is it one of her weapons? Is it her Pegasus? Is it one of her her magic abilities? Is it her arm? We don't know what it is, but it sounds like she has to do it, but then turn right around and go into another big fight now at a disadvantage. And she will need the help of allies old and new to recover what she has lost and save Gateway City. So, maybe she loses her lasso and she has to climb into the guts of the creature to get it out or something.
She loses her car keys and it's just very inconvenient.
Yeah, in a couch somewhere in the city. But, we were talking about before, what's so great about the Absolute line right now is every one of the Absolute books is somebody's favorite.
Yep. Oh,
and
yeah.
I've met plenty of people. Absolute Wonder Woman is their favorite. So I feel like they are going to be super stoked for this. I love this book.
What's your favorite?
Probably Absolute Superman.
I think that one's my favorite too, but that's not to take away from the others because they're all so good. But yeah, I've heard from plenty of people who this is their favorite, and rightly so. It's fantastic. There's something about Absolute Superman though that just clicks for me though.
Yeah, but they're all right up there. They're all sitting on top of the pedestal. But we've got our A cover here. We also have the Elizabeth Torque variant. We've got a Mattia de Lewis variant. We've got a Pablo Villalobos variant, which is super cool.
That one.
I like the kind of magma fire.
Yeah, I wish that were foil or the raised UV foil, whatever it is. That would look gorgeous that way.
But we also wanted to talk about that if you've missed it for some reason, we are getting another printing of number 1. So this is the 3rd printing, cover A by Hayden Sherman, who is your interior artist.
That's a panel from the last page of the first issue.
Yeah, where she finally like pulls out
Mhm.
it's almost not even a lasso. It's just a scary rope.
Yeah.
We also have the lyrics.
I love that too.
Yeah, that one's super cool.
Uh-huh.
We've got a Hayden Sherman foil variant of the original A cover. We've got this one's really cool. This is a Hayden Sherman. This is for issue number 2, second printing. And of course, this is homages. I wish I could remember what issue this is.
Yeah, it's a very old Golden Age issue of either Showcase or not Showcase, Wonder Woman or Sensation Comics
Comics.
or Wonder Woman. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, but where she's in the circle and everything. There's a Gilla March variant, and there's a foil version of that cover, which is going to be beautiful.
That's going to be hard to pass up.
Don't miss out on that. Next up, we got other number ones, other new series that are just getting going.
This is Jim Henson Presents number 1. This is going to be a 4-issue series, and this just celebrates the rich history of Jim Henson's stories. It's going to be an anthology book with all new tales set in the worlds of Jim Henson, the various worlds. So I guess we're going to get some stuff from Dark Crystal, Fraggle Rock, Muppets. Yeah.
And what is it? Babylon 5? Is that the
one? No, Farscape.
Farscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just all these different worlds that Jim Henson created over the years, we're going to get just anthology stories from those worlds from a whole bunch of different creative teams. And the solicitation wasn't specific about what's going to be in this first one, but if you're a big Jim Henson fan, you definitely will want to get this. So this is our A cover. We have a cover by Kim with Labyrinth, nice David Bowie there, and an FOC reveal variant, which that one is awesome.
Yeah,
more characters from Labyrinth. I love Labyrinth. That was my first introduction to David Bowie when I was a kid, was seeing him as the Goblin King in Labyrinth.
So sings music?
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Frankenstein, New World, The Sea of Forever. So this is kind of our where the Hellboy universe is now. And Hellboy's not even in it. But if you've been following the adventures of Frankenstein from all the way back in the days of Frankenstein Underground and his different appearances before everything went crazy. Well, now, after the events of Hellboy and BPRD, the Earth basically got fried and society grew up underground and now have emerged. And now that is Frankenstein going across this new world on different adventures. So if you've been reading this, definitely check it out. I feel like you could probably understand this if you didn't read the previous Frankenstein series. But for those long-term Hellboy fans and Mignola fans, you'll definitely want to check this one out. It's by Mike Mignola, Christopher Golden, art by Peter Birding. So, yeah, fantastic. Can't wait for this. I love the previous ones.
Next is Pinupocalypse.
I mostly put this on here just to hear you.
I thought I was gonna nail it. I completely screwed up. Pinupocalypse. Pinupocalypse. That's how you say it. Okay. Pinupocalypse. Number 1. This is going to be a 6-issue series. This is from Massive. And this is written by Andrew Tarosov and Brendan Jones. And the art is by Igor Vunishev. And this is described as a mix of 50s sci-fi and horror. The tropes from that kind of genre, it's reimagined with a clever twist. It's set in the 1950s in a small town in America. And it's a satirical adventure that pits 2 stylish pinup girls, and that's one of them on the cover. The second issue is going to have the other one. One of them is Rose, and I don't remember the other one's name. But these 2 stylish pinup girls, they get pitted against a horde of zombies and aliens in the 1950s. So I think that sounds really cool. And if the cover is anything, I don't have the cover artist here. But if it looks anything like this, it's going to be really cool, like stylish. Yeah. I love that time period. Aliens, zombies, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be fun. So this is our A cover. We have a Tarusov variant. There is a classic homage variant. There's your 2 girls right there. Yeah. And there is a Walking Dead homage variant, homaging Walking Dead number 1.
I believe that's your interior artist on the book.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Next up, we've got notable 2s and 3s, starting off with Black Canary, Best of the Best, number 3. So I've already read number 1. That was awesome. This is going to be a 6-issue series. It sounds like each issue is another round in the fight between Black Canary and Lady Shiva. as we also slowly get some backstory on the events leading to this, because it does say this is round 3, and it looks like Lady Shiva, especially if you read number 1, what happened at the end, is gonna come out on top. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of how it was set up. But when we see the build up to this fight and the training that Dinah Lance is going through, uh, we are going to get Batman dropping in to try and sway her from fighting. So we'll have to see why that is or whatever. If he's just like, Lady Shiva's going to mop the floor with you or whatever. But I love number 1. Can't wait to check out number 2. And here is number 3. This is your A cover. And we also have a Sowie.
I love that.
Yeah. In that Just League Unlimited episode, she does her scream, and like it hurt my ears watching it. And I was, it's like such a high piercing thing. It was really cool.
Next up is Metamorpho the Element Man number 2. Number 1 has not come out yet. We do have a preview copy that we haven't read, but we've looked through, and it looks so much fun. And this is the next issue of that, where Metamorpho, an element gal, you can see her on the cover there, they join the superstar singer Sapphire in the spotlight, but when they do that, they find themselves in the sights of her deadly rival Mad Mod. Now, I'm not super well versed in Metamorpho's past and all of his supporting characters, so I don't know if Mad Mod is one, and Sapphire Stagg, I believe, maybe is the daughter of Simon Stagg.
Yeah.
But the first issue, like I said, I haven't read it yet, but it looks amazing.
It looks very like 70s, 80s.
Yeah, just a fun book, And this is the next issue, and I think this is going to be fun as well. This is our A cover by Steve Lieber, who is the interior artist, and then there's a Gillum March variant also.
Making his fingers into Metamorpho as he peels himself off the comic page.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Next up, we have G.I. Joe number 3. We're going to be going over number 2 on Monday. I'm so excited to finally read number 2 of this. It feels like it's been a really long time since reading number 1. But in this one, not a whole lot of information. It just says that Cobra hunts a venomous new ally. So maybe they're going to go back to Cobra Law looking for somebody. I don't know. But we'll know more probably after we read issue number 2. So this is your A cover by your interior artist, Tom Riley. We've got a David Finch variant. And we have a Villalobos variant as well.
Next up is Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger Spawn number 2. Number 1 comes out next week, and we'll be talking about that on Monday. But in this one, Gunslinger's transformation is complete, and I'm assuming we'll know more about what that means when we read the first issue. But there are those who are hunting him, looking to steal his power. Now, this is set in like the Old West days before he got whisked away into present day, like he is in the current Gunslinger book. So probably this is like the origin, I'm assuming. So we'll know more on Monday after we read the first issue. But here is number 2. This is our A cover, and there's a Mark Spears variant.
Next up, we've got Doll Parts. Issue number 2. Number 1 came out this week. Very disturbing. But if you are a fan of the previous series, Lovesick, you can check out this one, which is kind of the secret origin of what would become Domino. But definitely for not the faint of heart.
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal, but very interesting and with fantastic art.
Do not let kids read this. This isn't anywhere near as bad as the Lovesick series, but there is a couple things in here that kids definitely should not see. So this is adults only, for sure. Yeah.
So that's our A cover. We've got a Luana Vecchio B cover, which is your interior artist, and a Luana Vecchio connecting variant as well.
Next up is Parliament of Rooks number 2. This is written by friend of the store, Richard Starkings, and the art is by friend of the store, Abigail Jill Harding. Richard Starkings, who the designer of the Infinity Flux, that's his claim to fame. That's what he's best known for, is designing our chocolate bars. But this is number 2 in their new series. And in this one, the Mayday Festival is in full swing. And in the wake of Darius' sudden affliction, an old yet familiar face steps foot in Ravenscar Hall, possessing a diary that belonged to his late mother. And there are rumors speaking of a strange creature seen skulking around the city while Darius visits the Great East Window, fearful but determined to find out the truth. And I don't know who writes the solicitations. I don't know if it's Richard who does that, but Thank you for including information in the solicitations because it's always sometimes hard. It's like, I don't really know what to tell you about this book, but this is very detailed. So, yes, our good friends Richard and Abigail with their next book. So, this is our A cover by Abigail and also the black and white version of that.
Next up, we got cool covers. Just really cool covers we wanted you to see. Starting off with Detective Comics number 1093. I love this very movie poster style one by Dan Panosian. And we also have a Juan Ferreira variant as well.
This is Superman number 22. We wanted to tell you about this Miko Suyan variant. And there's also a John Boy Myers variant, which that one I love. And there's a Marguerite Sauvage sweater weather variant as well. And this one too, this one's gonna be cool because there is a strike team that comes to Earth with their sights set on Doomsday, but only Superman can help Doomsday out with that, which is gonna be weird. And something interesting, it does say that Superwoman trains with an unlikely instructor. You won't believe who it is. So I don't know after the Superwoman special. I mean, I don't know if it's somebody from there or
Detective Chimp and Mr. Mind the Caterpillar.
That sounds good to me.
I wouldn't expect those. Next up, we've got just some really great covers for Harley Quinn, issue number 47. So this is your Jorge Fornes there, where she's some Jello salad. And we also have the Simone de Mayo sweater weather variant as well.
This is Power Girl number 17. This is the Matea de Luis variant. And we actually just looked through a preview copy of this. And in this issue, Power Girl gets a new costume that is much closer to her classic costume, or from the Jimmy Palmiotti Amanda Connor era. It is a little bit different, but it is much more. It's closer to that than it is her current.
Yeah, costume. Her jacket and stuff. Next up, we have Feral, issue number 9. This is our horror movie homage cover. So if you know what this is homaging, let us know in the comments. I know what it is, but do you?
This is Avengers number 23. This is the Mark Brooks animated variant. And this one, I believe Black Cat's in this one. It says that maybe she joins the Avengers, but it does sound like maybe there's a first appearance of 2 new characters called Gatecrasher and the TechNet. They are Black Cat's new bodyguards that the Avengers are going to have to fight through to get to Black Cat, who stole Kang's intel that the Avengers have. So yeah, some Black Cat goodness going on in here. We have a couple other covers like these. We have Phoenix number 8 with the Mark Brooks variant, Wolverine number 6 with the Mark Brooks animated variant, and Scarlet Witch number 9.
I love these because he was kind of doing this as fun, like Disney. Like, what if they Disney-fied Marvel characters? And I love that Marvel was like, well, yeah, let's just make these.
Do that as a cover, yeah.
Next up, we got graphic novels and more, starting with DC Finest Suicide Squad Trial by Fire. So this is your original Suicide Squad, before kind of the one you know today.
Well, there was a Silver Age Suicide Squad, but this is like the first. This is like the one from the '80s, Amanda Waller.
Yeah. This is kind of the one that is the precursor to the one you think about when you think about Suicide Squad. But this one had, of course, like Bronze Tiger, but it did have Deadshot in it, Captain Boomerang, Rick Flag, all of those. So this one collects issue 1 through 10 of Suicide Squad, issues from Firestorm, a couple different Firestorm series, the DC Legends 1 through 6, and Millennium number 4. So if you have never read some of the classic Suicide Squad books, you'll definitely want to check this one out because it's pretty cool.
Yeah. This is Jimmy Olsen's Supercyclopedia. Why did you give me the hard ones to say?
Because I can.
This is okay. So Jimmy Olsen's Supercyclopedia. This is going to be $12.99. It's listed as a trade paperback, but it doesn't collect anything.
No, it's a graphic novel.
This is more like a graphic novel where it's not just a regular comic. It's its own story, but it's thicker than a regular book. And in this one, this is written by Gabe Soria and the art is by Sandy Jarrell. The New Gods send the Supercyclopedia to find a hero, and it finds Jimmy Olsen. And you can see it there on the cover. And the villainous Toy Boy and his Mischief League of the Multiverse get their hands on a knockoff version of this. and it'll be up to Jimmy Olsen, Rip Hunter, and Linda Park to stop them. That's an interesting team. We did look through a preview copy of this as well, and this looks like a lot of fun. This kind of sort of reminds me of the Grand Design books.
Yeah.
In a way, it doesn't go over the complete history of a certain character or team. It's not like that, but it does. It's kind of like the Grand Design mixed with a Who's Who book.
Yeah.
Kind of, sorta. If you think about, there is this super encyclopedia that contains the knowledge of all of
the Hitchhiker's Guide.
Kind of like that, yeah, and it's really cool looking. The art is neat. It's kind of stylized. I believe that might be the cover artist is the interior artist as well. So just very fun. This is going to be $12.99. Again, not a trade paperback, but it is definitely thicker, meaty. Do we remember how many pages it was?
I don't
Let me
remember.
Definitely much bigger than a regular single issue.
Yeah. Next up, we wanted to show off some second printing. So, Laura Kinney Wolverine, #1, is getting a second printing with this Lyrics cover. I know we sold out of it here almost immediately. So, if you missed out, you can get one here.
This is really cool. This is the limited collector's edition, number 48 facsimile edition. They've done several other of these that have had Superman versus Muhammad Ali. There was the Batman Villains one from a couple weeks ago, and also the Superman Wonder Woman one. This is a facsimile edition of the issue that collected a couple of different stories where Superman and the Flash raced against each other.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
It's what the Batman one was too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was that the limited collector's edition was early kind of collections of
That's right.
stories.
And they're big treasury size, so they're like, if you think about a distillery book, it's even bigger than that. Yeah. This is the actual size that the original ones came in. I've read a couple of these old Superman versus Flash stories. They're always really fun. And there is going to be a regular and a foil version as well. And a blank. Yeah.
Yep. And also, another big one that sold out almost immediately is Ultimate Universe 1 Year In, #1, second printing, the Cappuccio variant, which was the spoiler cover for the first printing with your new Ultimate Wolverine. So, yes, I know we sold out of this very, very fast, especially this cover.
Yeah.
But I think we sold out of all the covers because this is your first appearance of Ultimate Wolverine and a lot of other fun stuff in it as well. So if you missed it, you'll want to grab this.
But don't get confused by the cover. This is because I saw this for a half second. I was like, "Oh, Ultimate Wolverine #1." No, This isn't that. It's a second print of the 1 year in.
And that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, head over to infinityflux.net right now. If you've never been over there, it is super easy to set up an account. It's free, and everything that you subscribe to, that you pre-order, you get 10% off of. Plus, we haven't been mentioning it lately, but you can use the code ILOVEFLUX at checkout and get an additional 10% off.
I think we still have our graphic.
Do we still have the graphic?
Well, that's the old one. Oh, yeah. It's that. That's our old graphic, but that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Flux. All you got to do is plug that in, and you get your 10% off on top of the other 10% if you work it out that way. Yep. But if it's your first time ordering with us, you can use that, which is super cool. But super important, once again, get your orders in right now because, like I said, this week, a bunch of stuff sold out. Yep. People are scrambling to try to get some of these books now, but everyone who pre-ordered them got them, and that can be you. So join us again on Monday, where we'll be going over the books that are coming out next week. Some really great ones. It feels like my whole stack of books are ones that I'm very eager to read.
It's a good stack next week. Yeah,
it's very, very good. So join us then.
And if you're local, come by tomorrow, Saturday, December 14th. Join us for our 10-year celebration. Not only do we have the chocolate bars, we have Infinity Flux colored bagels that we're going to have tomorrow too. There's a video of that on Instagram as well. Looks really cool. And again, if you are not local, you can still buy a chocolate bar on our website, and maybe it will have one of these golden tickets inside.
Yes, all of that goodness and much more over at infinityflux.net. Let us know in the comments what book from this orders are you most excited about, because there's so many good ones. We'd love to hear. We'd love to talk to you about all of that. But until next time,
see ya.